Hello again. We're going to finish up on this abbreviation chart, and I also have a little video kind of explaining some differences between a couple of these. So IT, both capital, that's inhalation therapy. Inhalation therapy, that could be with oxygen, it could be with a hypobaric chamber, it could also be breathing treatment. So all those can be included in inhalation therapy. IUD is intrauterine device. Intra means through. Uterine means the uterus. So this is a form of birth control where it's like a prong with like two arms sticking off of it, and it goes through the uterus into the oviducts, and it's an internal form of birth control. IV, this is intravenous. So this has to do with shots, how you deliver medication, that sort of thing. So I found this video that I thought was super cool, and it talks about differences between IV, subdermal, and IM routes.
Say you are in a hospital and need some medication administered. How will you get it? Will you drink it? Will you be jabbed with a needle? If you're going to be jabbed with a needle, where will it be stuck into your body? The answers to these questions actually depends on many factors, including the person's medication, condition, and mental state, and the pharmacology of the drug in question. While there are many issues to consider when giving medication, including a myriad of routes and sites of drug administration, this lesson will only focus on the principal ones, so you're not overwhelmed with too much information all at once. When I say routes, I mean the different general ways we can give a medication, such as orally, rectally, by vein, and so on. When I say sites, I mean the specific locations on the body where we give the medication, usually an injection. There are four principal routes of drug administration. They are known by their abbreviations: IM, IV, SQ, and PO. IM stands for intramuscular, where intra means within, and muscular obviously refers to a muscle. This means we are injecting a person with a medication, but we are using a syringe and needle to place it directly into the muscle itself. IV is the abbreviation for intravenous. Knowing what intra means already, you can clearly understand that this route of drug administration is injecting the medication into the vein directly. In this instance, we're also using a needle and syringe, or a catheter, to place the drug into a person's venous system. This is the fastest and most direct way.
Oh, that's dumb. Okay, well, enough of that. But okay. So IV and IM, those are the big ones I really wanted to discuss anyway. So IV is intravenous, that goes directly into the vein, and IM is directly into the muscle. Okay, IV is processed faster. Medications given by IV. IM is just slightly slower, but is still a fast way to receive medications. Intravenous pyelogram. Okay, this one, oh, I closed it out. Okay, intravenous pyelogram. This is IVP dye. It's here we go. It's a contrast dye that is utilized during certain scans. They pump it in through an IV. Okay, you have to be given an antihistamine because a lot of people are allergic or at least sensitive to IVP dye. And then they can take x-rays and they look at it gets a better picture because it gives more contrast, right? So that's what it's used for. Okay, JT, this is joint. So like your knuckles. Okay, your knuckles are joints, your wrists, your elbow, shoulders, so on and so forth. Those are joints. That's all lowercase, JT. All right, potassium, this is an element. It's required in regards to cardiac function in your heart. It's required to utilize a sodium potassium pump in your body for energy creation. KCl, potassium chloride, that's generally the form of potassium that's utilized by your body. You can't just take straight potassium. Kg, this is kilogram, it's a weight. Notice that it can be capital K lowercase g or all lowercase. Generally, that is the basis of weight in the medical field. So whenever a patient generally gives you their weight in America, it's in pounds and ounces. And a lot of medications are given based off of your weight, and that weight is in kilograms. Okay. Then there's L&D. This is labor and delivery. This is where you go to deliver a baby in the hospital. You don't go into a regular ER room. You don't go into an operating room unless you're having a C-section. You go to the labor and delivery area of the hospital, and it's a lockdown area of the hospital because people tend to want to walk away with babies. Okay. Then we have LNW. This is living and well. Living and well. Very similar to Alive and Well. If you remember from chart 1, the A and W. L and W is living and well. I might use this if, say, I had a call on the ambulance for a welfare check. Say, people were worried about their grandmother or their neighbor, something like that. They're not answering the door, they're not answering the phone. They want to make sure they're okay. We'll go with the police and we'll check. And most of the time, they're living and well, right? Sometimes other bad things have happened. But for the most part, I could say if they're just fine and we just knocked on their door for, to ease somebody's mind, they are living and well. So that concludes chart 6. So I want to be able to, in class, do a spelling bee with chart 6. And I also want to do a little bit of a spelling bee with chapter 1 and chapter 2 of medical terminology. So I hope some of this is a review. You should have seen some of these words somewhere in one of your chapters. So hopefully it's going to get easier. Please let me know if you have questions. My email is bartonj@dearbornschools.org.